Welcome to episode 180 of the Beefy Boys Breakdown. We're going to be recapping the prelims of UFC 305 because we're one of the only shows out there going over every single fight on every single card. And I got a special offer for you this week, folks. If you hit subscribe, I don't know if you can see that here. That's a Jack Della Maddalena Panini Prism rookie card. One of the hottest rookie cards you could even really have. And you can get that for free, my friends. All you got to do is hit subscribe on this YouTube channel. And then follow us on X/Twitter, whatever you want to call it, at Beefy Breakdown, not Beefy Boys Breakdown, at Beefy Breakdown. And that's mainly just so you can DM me the screenshot of you subscribing to our YouTube channel and subbing, or other way around, subbing to our YouTube and following us on X. And send me screenshots of those. First come, first serve, folks. I'll mail it to you free, no shipping, no nothing, just on me as a thank you for subbing to the pod. So, yeah. You can get a Jack Della Maddalena rookie card, which, like I said, outside of Shavkat, I can't think of a hotter rookie that you'd really want to have right now. So just a little giveaway we're doing for the subscribers, for the viewers, and we appreciate y'all, anybody taking the time to watch this. Like I said, we're going to start here, work at the top and work our way down. We got Junior Tafa, minus 115, taking on Walter Walker, minus 105. I did have Walter Walker as a 1-star, so I won't puff my chest out too hard because, like I said, it was a 1-star. I wasn't really putting my,
So before the show started, I said we got to give your flowers on it, and you're acting like you don't deserve them, and that's fair. I appreciate the modesty. It's not that you had 1 star on Walker. It's all of the reasons why you believed in Walker in this fight and why you didn't believe in Tafa, more importantly. And I honestly should have listened. For me, I said no bet, which I'm not necessarily mad at. You can't be mad at a fight you didn't bet.
Coin flip too.
Like however, when you do have a buddy on the winning side, it is unfortunate that you talked both of you out of a winning bet. Especially on a night where you don't win any bets.
Yeah, it made it a little tough. But, I always like to mention the heavyweight size. It's the only weight class where you can be, 40 pounds apart. But Tafa 244, less than his last weigh-in, which I found interesting. And then Walter Walker 252, I think about the same as his last weigh-in. But yeah, man, Walter Walker ends up getting a heel hook, which I gotta say,
hey, we look like smart marks. We broke this down 2 weeks ago. Honestly, if you need to see a breakdown of why that is a submission and why that's not an egregious stoppage, just go back. I believe it's 2-3 weeks. And we talked.
I think it was last week. I believe it was our last, not the betting episode, but I think the last recap pod. Yeah, we talked about it. How, and I learned it from Big John McCarthy on the Weighing In podcast. But a yell of pain equals a verbal tap. Like it's not even like a gray area. That's actually
it's a non-debatable rule.
Yeah. And I was actually kind of disappointed in the MMA community. Like even the broadcasters didn't know it. A lot of MMA Twitter didn't know it.
Dom Cruz did slightly touch on it in like a very genius level where he was like, there are some refs that will tell you in the back, like, if you yell out in pain, like, I'll stop it. Like, he kind of gave the way where it could be a thing, but he painted
have a clue in the fucking world.
He's the only guy that said something like that. Like, DC and Anik both acted like it was an egregious stoppage or they couldn't understand it. At least Cruz gave some light into how that could be a possibility, which is the actual truth in case.
Yeah, but like you said, I felt like a smart mark. I was sitting there at home. I was like, I know this. And, apparently a lot of people did not. Not a controversial stoppage at all.
I knew that, too. Like, it's not controversial to me. I actually explained it to Holt and Kenneth sitting next to me. I turned, and they were like, he didn't even tap. And I was like, he yelled in pain. And they were like, you get stopped? Did the fight get stopped for that? And I go, yeah, and auditory, like, yell or cry for help or like cry of pain is like interpreted as a cry for help, therefore like submission.
If you're gonna be a gangster, you got to go full gangster, Tony Ferguson, and just goon face it, or Muhammad Makayev, guys like that.
Like we can name a bunch of fucking guys that did it, so it's not uncommon.
Be an absolute sociopath assassin. Junior Walker jumped on that heel hook, which I gotta say, like I said, come full circle here. Not the biggest Walter Walker guy, but I gotta say, I don't know the last time I saw a heavyweight hit a heel hook in the UFC. It doesn't happen often.
I had him easily ahead in the round either way. So for me, I thought Walter Walker was fighting a good fight.
Well, Walter Walker's, and I want you to speak on this as you're the wrestler, on this show. But to my untrained eye, I thought the single legs, especially at heavyweight, were very nice. DC was 6 to midnight.
Yeah, I will say, like, it looks like Walter Walker might have just done wrestling in his like before UFC life. Like, he shoots like a wrestler. Like, a lot of those looked like like Sean Strickland and those guys, like, they can learn to wrestle, but they don't look like a wrestler. Whereas like Bo Nicoll, like, will always look like a wrestler. Like, Walter Walker, like, looks like a wrestler. He actually has that look, and I'll give him that. As a guy that did the sport for the years I did, like, he looks just like a guy I'd see at a fucking tournament. Like, he holds his body like that, like, has the entries like that, has the smooth single legs at heavyweight, which is so important. Like, Curtis Blades got his ranking on single legs. It's the way to get takedowns at heavyweight. The reason I say that is when you're 135 pounds and you shoot a double leg and you get caught, right? 135 pounds, you or I can stand up with that, right? From a squatted position, we could probably stand up with that. It's going to be tough, but in like...
We could bench press that.
Yeah, 100%. And in fight shape. And even at 185, you might be able to do that. At heavyweight, I'm not standing up with 260 on the top of my shoulders with my head down. It's never going to happen. So, super important you never get in between their pendulum of balance when you shoot takedowns at heavyweight. You always have to be off to an angle. So, to have a good single leg always puts you out of the way of harm. It's actually what Jailton Almeida doesn't have. That's why Jailton Almeida got stopped by Curtis Blades, because he only shoots double legs. When the weight gets over the top of you and you get pinched, you're in the worst spot possible.
For sure. And it just sucks because, like, Walter Walker looked fucking fantastic. I'm surprised he didn't get a bonus for that.
Junior Tafa acted like a little bitch.
He did. He was flipping him off, cussing him out. He slapped him. He actually slapped him.
Bro, my problem with it is it's nothing that Walter Walker did. Walter Walker didn't stop the fight. Walter Walker didn't hold the submission long. Walter Walker just did what the ref told him to do the entire time and fought to the best of his ability. Walter Walker did nothing wrong. Like, Junior Tafa's a fucking little bitch for that.
Yeah, that was unacceptable, for sure.
And like, if you're going to take umbrage with anyone, take it with the ref.
Yeah, 1,000%. Or take it with yourself for screaming out in pain like a little bitch, like you said. And also not like a little bitch, because guess what? Tearing your ACL fucking hurts. So it's like, you're in a heel hook. You yell out in pain. Like, I can see yourself like being mad at yourself or being mad at the ref, but yeah, Walter Walker did nothing wrong.
If anything, he popped your ACL. Like, sorry about it. You got caught. Like, sorry about it.
Tap sooner. Like, don't, like, that's like you said.
If I'm Walter Walker, I'm literally just like, sorry about it. Sorry about it. Like, I'm just saying sorry about it over and over and over, just to, like, what else am I supposed to say?
Well, I thought Walter Walker's response was pretty gangster. His response was like, now I'm going to whoop your brother's ass too. He called out his brother.
I love that. He was like, fuck this Tafa family. Which I like Walter Walker in that matchup.
Me too. And when also, I like Johnny Walker's been talking on social media about going to heavyweight.
I like
call
that.
It gimmicky, call it what you want. Brother on brother, same card, same night. I'm here for it.
I like
because Johnny Walker, what else are you going to do with him?
Yeah.
What else are you going to do with him?
Yeah, if you're the UFC, fuck it. Let's get our money's worth.
You can make T-shirts, fucking brother on brother, fucking let's get it, man. Walkers versus Tapas. But yeah, I mean, we spent enough time on that. I still don't have Walter Walker. Like, I didn't jump him up in my power rankings. It's just hard when you lose to Lucas Bresky, who I have zero respect for in regards to being a UFC caliber heavyweight. So it's like, I don't know how to juxtapose his debut performance with this performance. And I do consider Junior Tafa a can. So it's like, you got to win over a can. You lost to Lucas Bresky. I have Walter Walker power rank 27 in a division of 40 guys or 37 guys, just because I don't know what to do with it. I got to see more. And I guess I'll leave it at that. But yeah, we can keep it pushing.
Yeah, let's absolutely keep it pushing. You want to introduce the next one, because I got some hot fire takes for it.
Yeah, we got Josh Culibao, who we were riding on a parlay, taking on Ricardo Ramos plus 105. We got Culibao at minus 135. Featherweight bout, clearly. No, I thought rounds 1 and 3 were close. We end up with a split decision here, so it'll be relevant. I'll turn over the floor to you. You said you had some hot takes. I don't think we got to go round by round, but y'all turn over the floor is yours, my friend.
Yeah, I just want to make sure I read my text correct because this is a fight where I think that Culibao deserves a loss. However, based on the way I score it, which you're right, there are close rounds, so we do have to go round by round. Um, so round and also, bro, I just want to put into effect. Ricardo Ramos landed 27 significant strikes in this whole fight. Culibao landed 70.
Ooh.
Like I feel like all these stats that I see after the fight, I'm like, God damn, Culibao got robbed. That being said, I did score the first round 10-9 to Ramos.
Me too, and this will be a theme of the fight. Due to a Culibao mistake, this was a Culibao. I don't know any of y'all watching that played sports. You know, there's a difference between getting beat and losing. Culibao lost this. Like he fumbled the bag. Like
Had him hurt, rushed the finish, got his back taken, fucked the whole round off.
that was foreshadowing because that wouldn't be the only thing, a
I
mistake that
know.
Culibao fucks up around that. So it's like, yeah, this is a fight with the cat out of the bag that we both score for Culibao. We had money on Culibao. We both also acknowledge that Culibao fucked this off, and it's almost like hard to even stick up for him. You know, even though our scorecards end up in scoring 29-28, Culibao, it's just hard to really go to bat for him because he fumbled this away. Like, honestly, he may have stole the fumble crown from Jalen Turner. Like, we used to say guys like Jalen Turner this fight away. We may have to turn that into Culibao this fight away, like, honestly. But yes, I mean, short story long, I scored round one for Ramos.
It's
2.5 minutes of
all
bat
right, but
control.
it's weird to say Culibao the fight away, which I agree with you, he did. But if we keep pushing around too, I have a scorecard that, like we talked about in our text chain, apparently 1 out of 7 people on verdict had, according to like the math on the way that score would work, right? That being said, I have 10-8 for Culibao in this round.
Yeah, you know what? This is a round where I did consider the 10-8, but you know what I have in my notes? Culibao fumbled the finish. Like I did dock him for that. Now whether
I
that's
mean, how does that, you know what I'm
appropriate,
saying? Like he dominated
like
him for all 5 minutes and dropped him twice with leg kicks and with
bricked off
punches.
about 2 minutes of the fight, dicking around.
Bro, that shit I had me livid. I have it in my notes like screaming all caps. Like Colabao's
Yeah, me too.
fucking retarded. His fight IQ is below the floor.
Yeah, he Forrest Gump this one off, man. Because
He fucking
like is
Lenny
it
of Mice and Men did.
destroyed Hamos's leg with leg kicks, and then Hamos did the Charles Oliveira game where you just lay on your back because he was
And
toast. He was
yeah,
like if this
yeah.
was a video game, his health bar was like flashing red.
And his stamina was
He,
low, and he just recovered the whole time he was on the ground. And Colibao like fucked around and threw bullshit leg kicks and like hunted leg kicks from top. Like, dude, just stand him up and hunt leg kicks from standing, you fucking idiot. Where he has to put weight on his legs, you moron. There was the most negative fight IQ I've ever seen in my life.
that's why he's the verb now. Jalen Turner, congratulations. You're no longer the fucking
Master Turner,
synonym
you're
for
relieved of
fumble.
your position. Sir
Yes,
Colibao, you will
Culibao.
now be the master of fumbles.
Yes, 1,000%. You've been knighted master of fumbles because this fight was over, bro. It was Herbert Burns City. And we'll get to that one in a second. But it was, bro, Ramos was seconds away from Herbert
Hey,
Burns in this fight away.
to your point, imagine he's in the arena watching the Herbert Burns fight. How do you fuck this off after watching how someone does it right? Imagine
Ramos,
that.
Ramos was itching to get out of there. Ramos is like if Culibao would have opened the door, Ramos would have walked through it.
This
Like Chael
fight,
talks about it all the time.
and thank God the other two legs just fell through the floor on this parlay. This fight had me through the ceiling upset.
Yeah, because like I said, so
And we need to get to round three. We do need to get to round three because I have
so
Colbao up 19-18.
I have a 10-9. I have a 10-9 Culibao, so I have a 19-19. But
And
point
I
well
want to
taken.
bring up the point. Michael said I was crazy for 10-8. Well, verdict had 10 for Colibao and 8.86 for Ramos in that round, which means not one person scored it for Ramos because Colibao had all 10, right? And then also, if you take what percentage of 0.8, so 0.14, right? because that's the difference between 0.86 and a whole, is a percentage of 1. It's about 7, right? So 1 in 7 people scored a 10-8, and I'm one of those 7 people. I just want to say I'm not that crazy for it, I don't feel like.
No, and damage?
Like, if Culibao didn't look like a jackass, I think you give him a 10-8. But the visual jackassery, like,
that's
people,
literally my notes. Like, that's literally my point.
I know, and that's like it's like a subjective scoring measure that I hate, but like I appreciate at the same time.
Now, like you said, the all important round 3. I do
really
have
close round, really
caps
close round, really close
because
round. I have really close.
Man, here's the thing. Ramos, takedown, about 90 seconds of back control. No damage. No sub attempt.
0 damage. Yes, he was fighting to keep control.
He has control. Now, you flip on the flip side.
And DC commentated it perfectly in my mind. Because he said when Ramos got the takedown, he was like, if Ramos can get some good ground and pound here, he can steal this round back. And I was in lockstep with DC. I was like, yeah, he needs damage. He's lacking damage. This control's worth nothing if there's no damage or no sub attempts, no threat to end this fight or try to put it away. And he didn't do that.
Attempt. Not even an attempt. It's not like he was throwing bombs and landing on the guard. So we say no damage. Like, he zero attempt at damage. And then, like, Culibao won at what? Like, the first 3.5 minutes of the round on
with
the feet,
solid damage.
Now,
granted, it was close. I thought on the feet it was close, but I thought Culibao was slightly ahead when he got taken down, and then Ramos did 0 damage and threw up no sub attempts.
Fuck all with it. No, I agree, man. So I have it 29-28 Culibao. You have it what, 29-27? Is that what it is? Culibao,
which I'm okay with 28-28. In fact,
now the judge? Do you have the scorecards pulled up?
I do, yeah.
Did the 29-28 Culibao judge agree with me 2-3 to Culibao? Is that how he scored it?
Yes, that is in fact correct.
So, yeah, I agree with one judge.
I mean, I do too.
Yeah. But it's like...
It just sucks because, once again, dude, the one judge we agree with is the Vegas judge, and it's 2 fucking Australian judges that fucked this fight off.
The idea of giving Ramos 3, man. Like, yeah.
I hate that there's not 1 10-8 on these scorecards, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, but see, like, I'll die on the hill that Culibao doesn't deserve a 10-8. Like, a 10-8 is like a fucking privilege. It's a chef's kiss. It's a fucking standing ovation. It's a...
knockdown, outstruck him 3-1, didn't lose 1 second of the round.
Dicked off 2 minutes of said round and, like, literally fumbled the
where
finish.
one guy was laying on his back and the other guy was throwing strikes at him while one guy laid on his back. Like, if there's not a more dominant-looking position, I don't know what is.
The dominant position would be a place where you... I mean...
It looked dominant, though, is my point. Like,
you know what? You know what that round was? It was a sick-ass 90-yard drive where highlights and jukes, and it was the sickest 90-yard drive
and 3 fullback dives inside the 7.
Kick a field goal.
Yep.
That's what that was.
Yep.
That's what that was.
Yep. We got 3, boys. Analogy. We locked up 3.
But, like, drive full of highlights. Drive full of highlights.
Oh, yeah, bro. We hit a 25. We hit a 25-yard run. We hit a nice little 18-yard pass. We hit a 32-yard down the middle to the tight end on the seam. We had a fucking...
trucks, stiff arms, mosses.
Yeah.
Looked so sick. But then it ends in
pulling guard for 9 that was just a fire block. Like, we blew him up. And then 3 fullback dives, and we got to the 5 and kicked a field goal.
Exactly what that round was to me. Man, let's keep it pushing, though. Ramos gets the win. I didn't jump him over Culibao in my power rankings. I have Culibao 39, Ramos 40. They're both mid. Let's be real. I have them both behind Cub Swanson and both above Andre Feely. Yeah, we'll keep it pushing, man. Another one that we got very wrong. Let's go.
Load the gun, shoot the horns. We fucking missed every bet. God damn it.
We're all over Santos by sub and had it on a parlay at -145 money line.
Bro,
O'Neal, we
what a
said she was
goddamn dud. What a goddamn dud. I gave this fight
O'Neal.
out to friends. I feel fucking bad about it.
Too, bro. Plus our ranked 15 Casey O'Neal +120. We got on our betting show and we talked about how O'Neal hasn't really looked good since the knee injury. Well, she moved camps and she looked good last night. 30-27, just outstruck Santos. We had her by sub. Santos wasn't even able to win the grappling exchanges or get it into grappling exchanges and just got pieced up. Santos looked amateurish, bro. Like Casey O'Neal looked levels above Santos. Like, I'll be real. Like, I feel like a complete dipshit.
O'Neal controlled him back in round 3 even and got her own takedown. Like, it was just a disgusting.
That's what I'm saying. She won the grappling.
We
bet Santos by sub.
It was a disgusting ass whooping. I hate that I bet Santos. Now, granted, she took it on a month's notice, but bro, at this level, at this weight, and in women's, it's all good. That's plenty of time.
And like, if Santos was who we thought she was, it's enough time. But I think this was fraud check city, bro. Like I had to move her way down.
That's how I feel too. I hated it.
It was really bad. Dropped Santos all the way down. I mean, at 19, but there's a real fall off there at women's flyweight. Still has some, maybe she's 24 years old, so maybe in like 3-4 years she's legit, but has a lot of work to do. Casey O'Neal exposed her. Casey O'Neal, I still don't have her in my top 15. Maybe I'm tripping for that. I think there's some bad matchups for her. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm hating. I don't know. I like Gato and Maverick and Hebos a little more. Even
also,
Lipsky.
There was a judge that scored around 3 10-8. Do you feel like that's justified or no?
I mean, hell no. I didn't even have it on the table.
Yeah, I was amazed.
About 10-8, I had to ask myself the question, was that a 10-8?
Thank you.
This one didn't even enter my mind. Didn't even
couldn't agree
consider
more.
It.
Couldn't agree more.
I'm
glad
what damage?
That thank you. What damage? A lot of control from the back? That's not a 10-8.
Numbers, a lot of points.
Yeah, I agree. That makes me feel very good that you said Culibao was closer to a 10-8 than this, because for this to get a 10-8 and Culibao not 2-on-1 judges scorecard, that's kind of where I was like, what are we doing out here?
Very good point.
Because I kind of thought if this was 10-8, for sure Culibao was 10-8.
By that logic, I'm riding with you for sure. Man, let's keep it pushing to some one stud featherweight and one absolute can. We got Jack Jenkins, Herbert Burns, and the worst matchmaking on the whole card. I mean, this was always going to be a KO to the point that it wasn't worth betting. I think the buy KO prop was -250, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but the double leg that I gave, the single fight double leg, was fire. I should have bet it myself. I fucked myself.
But you also called the over 1.5 rounds, which is kind of an interesting take
over 1.5 and Jenkins TKO. The double bet one fight. I actually called the same fight parlay. 2 bet, same game parlay. Yeah, there you go.
But what I'm saying is that's a sweet spot. Just to stick your nuts out on over 1.5, but also this is for sure ending in KO. That's a sick little sweet spot. And like I said, I don't know, you gave me my flowers for Walter Walker. I'll give you your flowers for you had this fight dialed in.
I appreciate it. I gave this out to a homie, and he actually bet it as the double and got +300 on the odds. So
I
know. That's why I'm like, God damn it! It was a great same fight parlay bet, and I fucked it.
Well, that's brutal. I mean, it's gonna be a 30-27, but
maybe a 30-26.
Surprise! Herbert Burns quit. He saw that coming up.
Quit really quit too. Just refused to stand up. The most quit I've ever seen in my life. That shit was amazing. Couldn't have validated all my texts I sent for it was Amok, right? Andrew Moakley, shout out. All the texts I sent were just so validated. All the text I got back was, "You're so fucking hot right now." And then of course I went ice cold the rest of the night. But for this single fight, I could have called it second by second.
For sure, man. And it sucks because we're Jack Jenkins marks. We've been on the Jack Jenkins train for a hot minute, more than most people. But it's just like this win does nothing for him, especially when we just saw Zalal with a big win. We just saw Chepe Mariscal, Steve Garcia. These are all guys fresh at the front of our fucking brains. And it's like, it's hard to jump him over those guys for making a quitter quit. You know what I'm saying? Like, skill for skill, maybe he is better than those guys. And I'm sure maybe one day they'll fight. But it's hard. I'll take Zalal, Chepe's performances over this one through no fault of Jack Jenkins, just because of the dog shit matchmaking. This does nothing for his career.
Yeah, I guess what I hate about it for Jack Jenkins is that with his fight style, accumulation striking, and Herbert Burns' tendency to quit, we all kind of like saw the writing on the wall. So the only way Jack Jenkins could like get positive momentum in this fight was to get an unforeseen finish, right? By like actually KOing or subbing Burns, like not letting him quit, like finishing him before the quit. So it's almost like the expected outcome to watch Herbert Burns quit fighting Jack Jenkins, which is what we bet on,
duh.
which is what we knew. Right. So as an MMA community, because of our expectation, like Jack Jenkins doesn't get the celebration that he necessarily might deserve.
When it's like, yeah, like, is Jack Jenkins better than Chepe Mariscal? Like, maybe, but like this does nothing to like enlighten us on that. You know what I mean? Or like,
Right.
like I said, Steve Garcia. Like, I feel like they're all this new Yusuf Zalal. There's this like tier, and they're all killers. They're fucking good, man, and they're all on the outside of the rankings. And on any given day, could those guys beat Bryce Mitchell or Joe Anderson Brito or Dan Ige? Like, sure. Josh Emmett, maybe even Calvin Kattar, maybe even on any given day. Any of those guys I named could probably beat those ranked guys. But
Right.
like with this dog shit matchmaking, we get no closer to like finding out.
No closer, and like Jack Jenkins didn't like put an extra stamp on it, is I guess my point. Like he did exactly the expected outcome to a T.
Or nothing less.
Right. Like it was almost like the line was like -20 and he won by 20. Or won by 21. Like, all right, it's exactly what we thought would happen.
Yeah, that wraps up our prelim segment. And I will be finding out along you guys if we're going to be doing these early prelims. How's it looking, bro?
Yeah, no, it looks good. We're only at 27 minutes. So we don't want to cut you guys short. We might as well fire out these last three and
let's keep it pushing, baby.
I feel like these might be our best three fights of the night with Jack. Well, I guess four because Jack Jenkins we nailed, but
I gotta say, bro, as bettors, we gotta keep this in mind as far as like where we spread our money around. I consistently do better on the prelims than the main card, and that may not even be a nice thing to say about myself, but it's the truth.
Like, I think it's a sharper thing to say, if that makes sense. Like I think if we bet main cards when they were announced, I think we'd have better takes.
When these main cards are hard, like I said, Izzy Dreekis, you're talking about 1 versus 3 in my power rankings. Like that's splitting hairs. Like on these prelims, you'll get a 20.
You'll get 41 versus 62, and you're like, "Whoa, what the fuck? This is very clearly 41."
Side. And then the line's not that big because nobody gives a fuck. Yeah, dude.
Right, so right. Nobody bets it. That's the thing with the prelims is nobody bets it, so the line stays original.
Bro, honestly, like as viewers, as people that watch our betting show, like take our main card picks with a grain of salt, but lock in on these prelims picks. Like the proof is in the pudding. If you see my verdict medals, it is just littered with prelims.
They're getting good. The verdict ranking has to be climbing almost to black belt by now.
So close. But yeah, keeping it pushing here. The early prelims here. We got Tom Nolan versus Alex Reyes, and
what an ass whooping.
Like some spots would call them like non-spots. Like if you skate a spot that's not a good spot, but like you skate it and you make it look cool, it's like a non-spot spot. This was like a non-take. Like this was a no bet and we didn't bet it and we didn't really give a fuck about this fight. But my non-take was that like Tom Nolan shouldn't be minus 1,200 over anybody on the roster.
In the least offensive way, I mean that was your best take of the night. And I mean that in the least offensive way, you know what I mean?
No, I get you.
The most complimentary way, in fact.
It was a good take, but it was like a non-take. It was like an irrelevant take, but it was spot on. Like because Tom Nolan, 30, 27.
Do you know how I want to reinterpret your take to later on? Like later on when we talk about these fights? Fight goes the distance. When we think a guy shouldn't be a massive favorite, the reason he's a massive favorite is because Vegas is betting on the finish. So if we think he's undeserving of that number, fight goes the distance.
That's actually a sick take. Yeah, I'm here for that. Yeah, and like when you ask like why do you talk about early prelims or why do you care about the early prelims? Like
right.
Even if it's just like conversation like this, like there's something to be learned here. And as bettors, we just learned something pretty crucial. And I mean, yeah, 30-27 Tom Nolan, but like every round, like there was no 10-8s. There was not even really, I don't think there was a knockdown, was there? I mean, he cut him, and there were some points where Reyes was not having a good time. But like, I mean, there was very little.
Yeah, no knockdowns, and honestly, significant strikes are reasonably close by the end of the fight.
Like I said, I'm kind of puffing my chest out on a non-take take. But like, yeah, I mean, Tom Nolan didn't. I mean, you tell me. Comments below. Did Tom Nolan look like minus 1,200? I mean, the answer is unequivocally no. So I mean, it's a non-take take. Nobody made any money off it. But yeah, I just didn't. I mean, Alex Reyes is very bad, but I think Tom Nolan, and it kind of sucks to say, is very bad as well. I'm not trying to be a jerk, but.
So this is a bad example for this fight because I just can't get this fight to load. But like the Jack Jenkins Herbert Burns, like if we weren't saying this about Jack Jenkins and Herbert Burns, however, right, he's a minus 700. So fight goes to decision for that was plus 380, right? And so for Tom
it would have
Nolan,
been even bigger on
probably
this.
plus 540 or something. And so like that's the bet to cash as a sprinkle.
We got to keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. That's a fire. That's a sharp take right there. But yeah, I mean, Tom Nolan, he's long and he can strike. He has dog shit striking defense. And like, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't have too much more to say. I mean, Tom Nolan gets the win. His only wins are against Can, and he has losses to a Can.
I think so Tom Nolan is a high floor, super low ceiling kind of a guy. Like, whatever Tom Nolan we're seeing right now, that's Tom Nolan, and it's not getting much better. Because I think the risks he takes... I mean,
he is young. He's 24, so maybe it gets better.
I agree, but I think his fight style, like the amount of risks that he takes currently, are going to lead to a shortened fight career for him.
And I'll put it this way, just to like kind of put a visual in the viewer's head. Like I have Tom Nolan at the very top of my Can tier. So my lightweight Can tier, I have him at the very top. But I couldn't jump him out of Can tier because I just still kind of view him as a Can. And I mean, where's your evidence that he's not a Can?
I know, and in that division, like he's fighting a lot of killers. So it's like, yeah, to go to decision with Reyes, like. He's going to take a lot of damage in higher echelon fights.
Yeah, exactly. Like I think Clay Guida and Kurt Holloway like beat him easily. You know what I mean? And I'm not high on those guys, so it's like, yeah, like what does that really? What does that say? But yeah, I mean, we can keep it pushing here. Also, by the way, Alex Reyes probably 2 on my anti-pound for pound, right behind Marnik Man. My anti-pound.
Marnik Can and Alex Reyes. Well, I think Reyes is like in the UFC by name alone and does not qualify for UFC by skill set. So I'm right there with you.
Is he number 1?
I think he might be number 1. Yeah. Even with that showing and like fighting back, dude, he was getting cracked, hurt. Like if Tom Nolan was any good, he would have taken a deep breath, poised himself, and finished the fight at multiple points.
Agreed. Now we'll keep it pushing, man. I don't know about you. Let's puff our chest out a little bit. One of our only good takes on the night.
Hell
one of
yeah,
our
brother.
only legs that cash. But Song Kenan over Ricky Glenn. I mean, I had a wide gap in my power rankings. I did not see a path to victory for Ricky Glenn. I was all over Song Kenan. We got him at minus 190, which was great value. Finishes at minus 220. Even that's not bad because, like I said, if I'm handicapping this was a minus 450.
So I always follow the betting trends from BetMGM. Like this guy John Ewing tweets out all the money they handle, like leading up to the fight, which is a pretty sick graphic. The sharpest money was on Song Kenan and Rosenstruik last night. So smallest percentage of bets placed with largest amount of money handled, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like what would be considered sharpest takes because it's guys betting like, so one bet is 200,000, whereas like 20,000 bets are $10 on the other side.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, I'm out on. I was out at Ricky Glenn at lightweight. I definitely didn't like him up a weight class against Song Kenan. Song Kenan's not a world beater, but he's like proven to be UFC caliber. Like he's proven to be not a can.
Yeah, and
Proven to
also
be a tough
fuck
night
Ricky
out.
Glenn. Like Ricky Glenn sucks. Like he's old world UFC. I hate to say that, but like the dude is how old is he? Is he 35? Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
35, yeah. He's 35, but he fights like he's old world UFC, right? Like he fights like Donald Cerrone. He got pieced out by Donald Cerrone, in fact, like 7 or 8 years ago, and he got put on a fucking highlight reel. And I've never bet him since because he got 4-piece Mortal KO combat KO'd.
Yeah, you know what reminds me of that? Like Cody Stamen is like an old school UFC that's just like it ain't gonna work in the modern game. Like same kind of vibes, but obviously a worse. I think Cody Stamen's better than Ricky Glenn, but yeah,
weird scorecards in this one though. I would like to go round by round with you and just see what you get here.
yeah, I'll give you a quick round by round. 30-27 Song Kanon. Now, round one was close because Glenn got 2 takedowns, some clinch control, but I thought Song won the damage battle and he got up from the takedowns. So, I mean, 30-27 for me, just to, short, make it quick.
So
Yeah,
I scored at 30. I scored at 30-27 Song. I thought round 2 was close to a 10-8, but we do get 3 different scorecards from the judges. That's the only reason I wanted to go over it real fast.
Yeah. Well, you get a 130-27, so one person agrees with me. Or you had 30-27 as well, right?
I had 30-27 as well. Guess what? That judge also scored the other fight he judged, 30-27 for Tai Tuivasa.
Oh, hell yeah. So we're in good company.
Yeah, that feels terrible. That feels terrible.
I'll drink to that.
So the judge that got relieved of his scoring duties for the night scored the fight 29-28 for Song Kenan, Howie Booth. Dude, the judges on this fight were egregious. Our bets were in the hands of the Lord God himself with these 3 judges. All 3 of these judges have crazy scorecards throughout the night at different points. Like, in fact, Howie Booth gets pulled off the goddamn card. Evan Field gets pulled off the goddamn card.
Though? I'll say this. I understand all 3 of these scorecards because 2 could have been a 10-8 and 1 could have been a Glenn.
Hey,
so
guess what?
I
hey,
don't hate it.
You know, we didn't talk about 30-26 where he scores round 3 as a 10-8 and round 2 as a 10-9.
That's how he got there?
Yeah.
Round 2 has to be a 10-8 if you're going to get a 10-8. Oh, yeah, that's all right. You can't mistake me. That's number 1 bullshit, brother. That's the number 1 bullshit.
This fight was just a sham of a judge. Like, the judges of this fight, that's a mockery of UFC caliber fighters.
Man, we'll keep it pushing to these curtain jerkers here. Jesus Aguilar plus 170. Stuart Nicoll in his debut minus 205, coming in undefeated at 8-0. We didn't bet this one because we try to stay away from the debut guys.
A wise decision.
Aguilar, man. Aguilar missing weight at 127.5, so it's hard to say many nice things about him. I mean, got the gilly. There were some crazy scrambles before the gilly. But this is one of those fights where, like, Aguilar won. This is what you call getting caught, though. Like, this was not a dominant victory for Aguilar, even though he, like, on paper, on Tapology, 3 years from now, you're going to look at this and be like, oh, Aguilar tapped him in the first round. He must have whooped his ass. But, like, didn't really go down like that. This was basically, like, one big scramble, and then somebody got caught, which was entertaining as fuck as a viewer. And I think both guys are like decent level. Like I have both guys in my koozie tier because like cans aren't capable of that level of scramble. And like there was some high level shit being done.
That's a fair take, actually. I don't mind that take.
But like I also don't like predict like a fucking title run out of either one of these guys. So like koozie tier all day. Which like I gotta say, man, out of all weight classes, flyweight may have like the coolest koozie tier. My flyweight, I got Jesus Aguilar, I got Andre Lima, I got Felipe dos Santos, I got Jake Hadley, and now I got Stuart Nicoll. Like, solid koozie class at flyweight.
Well, you know what name is missing? Muhammad Makayev, unfortunately.
Yeah, and it sucks because I still have him on my power rankings. I have Makayev at 7, but it's almost like, I mean, definition, I mean, Who cares? Who knows? But you know the reason why I'm keeping him in my rankings. Yusuf Zalal. I think he's gonna go sub a couple guys in UAE Warriors, and he'll be back. I do think he'll be back.
He's
I
gonna
think that
have to
was the whole
learn to
goal.
not be a total douchebag, and then they'll let him back.
I think that was the whole goal. I think the whole goal of this was to like have it be a learning experience. I don't think the UFC is necessarily out of the Muhammad Makayev business, and I also think if he was 30, this never happens. He's 23. They can let him go for 2-3 years. He comes back. He's actually in his prime, and the whole time they're not having to cut him checks.
Well,
And
I also think if he's a 170-pound guy, that this definitely doesn't happen. But at 125, it's a division that they like don't give literally any fucks about.
you know what? I think they'll start. I have a hot take, or maybe it's a hot take. I don't fucking know. But like, I think if Tatsuro Taira like gets the belt and is like, then they'll give a shit. Then they'll have their sugar Sean. Like Taira, I think Tyra's the guy they're waiting on. I think they don't want to put a bunch of money into a 36-year-old Pantoja or a mid-ass Royval, a hit-or-miss Cara France. I think if Tyra remains undefeated, gets the belt at like 25, 26 years old, I felt the same way if Usyk was to do this. I think then they would have like invested some give a fuck points, some money, some marketing. I think they're kind of just like Pantoja, he's just too old. Moreno, he wins one, he loses one. Cara France. I think if Tyra, the fact that Road to UFC even exists is proof that Dana's thirsty for that East Asian money. Tyra gets the belt undefeated. We'll see like a golden era.
If they wanted a guy that was like gonna like actually juice the division, you'd want El Bazzi because he'll actually talk shit.
Oh man!
And that's for the division, not for El Bazzi himself, but to bring eyeballs to flyweight because a lot of people just don't give a shit.
I'll push back. The Japanese. Maybe I'm like I said, I'm a skateboarder. Like the Japanese are taking over skateboarding right now, like Yuto and all the Daiki and all the boys. Like Japan and like see the thing about Japan, and this is gonna sound weird, but it's just objectively true. Like Japan is cool. Like what's cool in Japan is cool in New York, is cool in Europe. Like Japan fucking is cool. I think having a Japanese champion, even no English, whatever, I think he's still more marketable than Albazi. I think a lot of UFC fans are over, and this is going to sound weird too, but I also think it's objectively true. See the Bilal Muhammad slander. Like, I think UFC fans are kind of like over like the Muslim champion. Like,
yeah.
But like we've seen that movie before. Like an East Asian, Japanese, cool guy.
It's not even that I'm over it, bro. That shit is boring. Like those champions are boring. Like no offense to Islam and Bilal, but like they're respectful, they're God fearing, they're worshipers. Like that's boring as fuck, dude.
Japanese dudes are cool. Like Japanese are taking over skateboarding. They crush wrestling in the Olympics.
Give me the guy that wrecks cars into pregnant chicks and runs with drug money in his whip as the heavyweight champ. I love that. Or Tom Aspinall that's literally blacking out with tattoos on his arms. Or Poetan that's like drinking himself under a table until he sees Izzy talking shit in a bar and then decides to avenge everything and put everyone on Earth to sleep. I fucking love all the stories that aren't these other boring, unfortunately, Islamic champions.
I feel you. Everything you just said is a lot more interesting than Alhamdulillah.
Even the Drickus story is fucking very fun. But you can't name an Islamic champion that is very fun.
I'll say this. Islam's funny in interviews. Bilal's not.
Ankalaev's not.
No, Ankalaev's the worst one out of them all. I'll say this. Muslim? I don't know. He might not even be Muslim. Is he Muslim? I don't know.
Almost positive.
So he has potential to be interesting, but like in the serious kind of way. Not in the shit talking way, not in the flashy way, but in the mysterious kind of way. But see, like Do you not agree with my point? Like Tatsuro Taira, like Japan, like that culture. At least it's something new. Like I think it could work more than in Albazi. But I don't know. I guess we're kind of talking in circles here. It doesn't really matter at the
I
end of the
like
day.
Tyre, but once again, he's just too respectful. Albazi's gonna talk that shit. You need someone who's gonna drag eyeballs to flyweight, like drag them to it, because innately people don't like to watch small guys fight. So you need to see a shit talking motherfucker to really get you like, just you know what I'm saying, the Buffalo Wild Wings guy. That's who we're trying to win here. It's not me or you.
Yeah, that's also a good point. Yeah, man. But yeah, that wraps up our UFC 305 recap. Only show out there going over every single fight on every single card and giving you a free betting show every week. Go ahead and hit subscribe. Like I said, I got this Jack Della Maddalena rookie card up for grabs. Send me a screenshot on X at Beefy Breakdown of you sub to our YouTube and following on X. Bonus points if you give us a follow on IG, Beefy Boys Breakdown. And I will get you that card mailed out free of charge. JDM, Jack Della Maddalena rookie card. Little giveaway going on for the channel. Man, been fun breaking this down. Cannonier fucking Baralio next week. Very intriguing.
And
some other decent fights on the card.
I promise I will not be as cold next week. I won't miss every single bet I give.
No chance. Big comeback week. But yeah, man, it's been a lot of fun. Thanks for watching, everybody. This wraps up UFC 305 recap. Thanks for watching.